Linear functions is probably the most important topic that you are going to learn in the whole course because they're used everywhere. Okay, a lot of stuff in real life is modeled by linear functions, and knowing how they work is just the most important building block. Okay, let's take a look at generally what linear functions look like. It's going to be something like mx plus b. You probably have seen this a million times, or at least I hope so. Okay, m is called the slope, and b is the y-intercept. Now, for my specific case, I only need to find the slope, but actually I'm going to want you to get the whole thing, also the equation. Okay, so the first step is formula for the slope, which you should just memorize. So that should be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So what's what here? They are supposed to give you 2 points on the graph of this function. So x1, y1 and x2, y2. Okay, so for my specific example, this is 3, negative 4, and the other one is 6, 4. And what I need to do is carefully plug it in to get the slope. Okay, let me show you on the calculator what I'm going to do. So let's open up Desmos calculator. First, we want to make it a fraction. So we'll click on a fraction. On the top, I'm going to prepare the answer. And then I'm going to stick like what's what in there. Okay, so I'll just have the setup. Okay, so it has to start with y2, which is the y coordinate of the second point. So that would be 4. Then y1 is the y coordinate of the first point, and that's negative 4 for me. Okay, then I'm going to put x2, which is the x coordinate of the second point, which is 6. And then x1, which is the x coordinate of the first point. Okay, now I got some kind of fraction. That's okay. It happens all the time. Click on the little button that says convert to fraction, and now you know that the slope is 8/3. How do you find the y-intercept? Let me write that formula down for the y-intercept. It's actually very easy to remember. It's y1 minus slope times x1. Now, how do I know that? Well, because I can just solve for b over here. If you think of the left-hand side as y, then you just see that b is y minus mx, right? And so this formula just follows from there for specific case of x1 and y1. And then the slope, in my case, is going to be y1 minus slope times x1. So what's what? First of all, what is y1? That's the y coordinate of the first point. Then slope, which I just found, multiplying that by x1, which is the x coordinate of the first point. And in this case, that's negative 12. And if we found that, so this is negative 12 and this is 8/3, can we come up with the equation of this line? The answer is yes. We just have to plug in. Imagine that you have like a box, mx plus box. So what's m? The slope. And then what's b? The y-intercept. Now, to actually check to see if this is right, you can just, okay, so I think it's going to be 8/3 x plus, or actually minus 12, right? Plus negative 12, which is the same as minus 12. Now, how do I know this is correct? I can actually plug in the first point, x coordinate, and see if I get the y coordinate. And I did get that. And then for the second point, we're also going to plug in the x coordinate, and we got the corresponding y coordinate. We know that this equation is correct. And the total answer would be f of x equals 8/3 x minus 12. Now, the last question that we have here is whether this function is increasing or decreasing or constant. Here, what you need to know is that if the slope is a positive number, so slope is positive, the function is increasing. Okay, so when you graph it, you're going to have to graph a line, and it's going to be something like this, right? So this is a slope m more than 0. Okay, now if the slope is negative, the function is decreasing. Okay, pretty easy to remember. What is going to happen? It's going to go like this. So this is going to be negative slope. So if you're going from left to right, you're going down. Finally, if the slope is 0, then you have a horizontal line and the function is constant. Slope is 0. The function is constant. meaning that it does not change. The slope does not change. It stays zero, stays equal to zero. So it's a horizontal line. For me, because my slope is positive, I'm just going to say increasing here.